You couldn't help yourself, could you?
As is our custom, we like to visit every hospital at every major location we go to. This is no exception. Now, this is the Port Hedland Health Campus. And just like the essential van needs to be checked every now and again, it's going beautifully, and so is the tug. The old driver here. So we saw the camel toe at Cable Beach. Now we've got the fossil foot. This is the fossil foot here. And we've had a little bit of annoyance with it, and we're coming in to have the fossil foot checked in with a MRI or a CT scan or an X-ray. So that's what we're doing. No panic, we're not feeling sorry for ourselves, but just some letting the doctor just have a check of why the fossil foot is giving us a bit of angst. I thought we'd deliberately do it out in the wind so that it's impossible to hear, as opposed to doing it over there where we walked in. We've had the fossil foot looked at, we've had a CT scan and X-ray. I don't know why I'm telling you this, just to show that we've had it done. I could have made all this up, I could not even be here, but I've just had it done. And we're going to check in at Perth because they couldn't do the MRI here. Can you hear me? What?
Ultrasound.
Oh, whatever, I don't know. Anyhow, the old fossil foot's with us, and we're going to now check into the... Where are we checking into? Port Hedland.
Yep,
Caravan Park. Be a winner. We'll tell you what's going on. Did you know Port Hedland is reputed to be the hottest, not the hottest, has the most sunshine of any place in Australia? How would you measure that?
The sun.
If the sun goes behind a cloud, is that considered sunshine? What does it mean? Anyhow, that's what they hang their hat on here. We've left the Port Hedland Hospital. We've had the fossil foot attended to, and we've looked on the brochure. Now, I understand that the tourism authorities and the information sheds and stores and operatives try and sell the joint, and that's fine. But we've taken the essential caravan to the Port Hedland caravan camp, and then we thought we'll take their suggestion up on what to do. This is just in case you're thinking of doing this. First of all, it said to come to the Cemetery Bay lookout, and you can see the very many ore ships waiting to come in. I don't know if you had a telescopic lens on any camera you had, but if you had the most powerful nuclear telescope that you could ever get, whoever made them, the Japanese or the Chinese, you'd probably see them on the horizon, the ore ships. I know they're big, but they'd have to be really big in order for you to actually make them out on the horizon. So that's one. So I'm not sure that I'd come down to look at the ore ships. And then they said, this is the place to come. You can see these pools here to see the green turtles. It's a hatchery, and they are in prolific numbers here, the green turtles. We've been here for the best part of 40 minutes. I'm yet to see a green fucking turtle at all. Either its mother or its offspring or the father that actually knocks them about and knocks them into shape. But I'm sure they're there. So
does Port Hedland have a zoo?
Well, this is meant to be an open zoo. The Port Hedland Turtle Hatchery, and the fact you can see the ships. Now, there's two other things they said you must do. You must go to a lookout and look at the 3-kilometre ore trains that service the BHP facility.
Ooh.
BHP, huge trains. I know you don't think that's exciting, just a whole lot of trucks linked into one another with a couple of diesels in the middle, and then one at the front and 2 at the back and 3 at the but we're going to have a crack at that, and maybe the diesels are out or the trains are on the way down to the I don't know where. And then they said you can go to the port, a port that you can't pronounce. It's got 25 letters in it, but it's the Port Hedland port, and you'll see the big ore ships there waiting to get loaded. So we're going to have a crack at the big trains and the big ships at the port. The the turtle hatchery has been a fizzer, and the ones out on the horizon have been a fizzer, but that's all right. They've got us here, and we could have bought something at the canteen, which is probably their main aim anyhow, to add to the coffers, add to the GDP of Port Hedland. We're doing our bit. We've taken the Essential van and the tug up here, and it's a great place to come if you just got to pick the things that you look at.
The salt mines were pretty interesting on the way in. They were BHP.
Big salt, yeah, big. That's right. They flood large areas of the sea, and then when the tide goes out, they collect the salt and put it in huge mounds. Pretty exciting. That big mounds of salt. And then they load it into 3-kilometre long trains. And I don't know where they send the salt to, but it's pretty exciting. That big mounds of salt.
Well, on to the next one.
Yeah, we're going on. We'll report when we get to the next, see if it's a fizzer or not. Well, here's the third of the attractions they suggested at
Port Hedland.
Port what?
Hedland.
I was going to say Port Kembla. Port Hedland. They said come down and watch the big ore ships coming in. Here's one that's been loaded. You can see over here the Burge Bulk. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit hard with the wind.
I know, we've got the umbrella of silence up.
There's one there.
See any red coming into the picture? It's because the umbrella's flapped in. But there's the Rutland. The Rutland.
The Rutland.
The Rutland, that is it. And just see the red line there up to the black. That's called the Plimsoll line. And they fill that boat down to the black, so that the red goes under the water, and that's called the Plimsoll line. Imagine the amount of ore that has to go into that. It's exciting, isn't it? Well, anyhow, this is one of the features, and aren't we lucky?
See one come in.
It's a big mother, isn't it?
She is.
It is. It's got 4 tugs, it's got 4 sea tugs, marine tugs, not
our tugs.
not the tugs that pull the Essential.
Look at
there
that.
It is. So the only other thing, we've seen 3 out of the 4 attractions. The 2 were fizzers, the turtles and the ships on the horizon. This is impressive. That is a big ship. And we're going down to look at a big train now that's meant to be 3 kilometres long. So this is Port Hedland. Okay, now we've come to the end of a very busy day at Port Hedland. 3 out of the 4 attractions, well 1 out of the 4, we saw the ship come in.
That was good.
Oh yeah, the big ore carrier.
Yeah.
The trains we just saw, they were all parked. A lot of trucks behind the diesels, but not moving.
Yeah.
You could take a photo of that if you wanted to. And the turtles and the ships on the horizon out to sea. Nothing to write any correspondence to your birthplace about. No letters home about that, I don't think. But we've just stopped off just to see that we reckon all these are BHP workers at the Walkabout Hotel, is it?
Yeah.
There is 1,000 people here, and they're all driving identical work vans with all numbers on the side of them, yellow numbers.
They work so hard all day and then they come and get pissed.
That's right, they get, well, they wouldn't, no, I think the coppers would be right onto it, they'd be on you like a tree full of owls. But anyhow, so it's been a very nice day here. We had the man come up at the caravan park and said, you might have the van a bit skew with in the park, he said, but seeing as we're not busy, why don't you leave it there? I said, mighty neighbourly of
You're
you.
supposed to park your van that way and you've got it that way.
That's
taking
correct.
up 2 spots.
That's right, because it holds, I think, at last count, I think it holds 400 vans, and there's 3. We are one of 3 currently here because it's off season.
I thought he was going to tell you to pack up and go.
No, he was very nice. He said, look, why don't you leave it there? He said, because we're not busy. Not busy. Anyhow, it's been very good at Port Hedland, isn't it? Where are we going tomorrow?
Maybe to Marble Bar. Maybe.
Marble Bar. That is the hottest place in Australia.
So they say.
Well, they do. It had 160 days over 37 degrees.
Wow.
That's a
Put some
record, a
sunscreen
world
on.
record.
So it's going to be 37 tomorrow.
That's right. That'll just add to the statistic at Marble Bar. That'll be the 161st day. Anyhow, that's the end of the day. It's been good.
You want a game of pool?
What?
You want a game of pool?
Gee, my elbow slipped off the table. Wouldn't mind a drink. I might start drinking shortly. I know. See if you can muscle your way in here to have a game of pool. They've commandeered the table, these 2.
Yeah, I'm not touching them too.
Very They got very, very shirty when we looked as though we might actually put our coin down and say we'd be next.
I think she's a regular. She's got a pink queue.
Yeah. Matches a nose.